The desert stretched endless, a sea of gold beneath a merciless Sunday. From the edge of the dunes, Varkor's massive wings stirred whirlwinds of sand as he descended. Elara placed a hand on his scaled chest, steadying him.
We go alone from here.
Finn glanced up at the dragon with unease, but said nothing. He knew the truth as Elara did. Arriving at Sultan Rashid's gates with a beast of fire at their side would not be seen as diplomacy, but as war. Varkor rumbled low in his chest, reluctant, yet he obeyed. He remained in the wastelands beyond the city, his molten eyes fixed upon them until the dunes swallowed him from sight. Al-Raheem's capital rose like a mirage from the sands. Sandstone palaces crowned with turquoise domes shimmered in the sunlight, banners of crimson and gold snapping in the wind. Streets bustled with merchants and caravans, their scents of spice and smoke rising into the air. Yet above all loomed the palace of the Sultan, a tower of ivory and firelit banners where wealth and cruelty entwined. The Sultan greeted them not with steel, but with laughter. A man draped in flowing robes of white and gold, he reclined on a throne of carved ivory, a goblet of wine in his jeweled hand. His eyes glittered with amusement as Elara and Finn bowed. He praised their courage, mocked their defiance, and in the same breath dismissed their plight. To him, Eldoria was nothing a pebble beneath the heel of empires. Yet behind his laughter, Finn saw calculation. The Sultan's markets thrived on chaos, and a dragon meant not destruction, but fortune. If Eldoria fell, Al-Raheem would seize its precious mineral veins. As Elara spoke of alliance, Rashid's courtiers sneered. Their voices dripped with contempt, each word echoing through the gilded hall like poison. "A village of beggars," they whispered. "A thief and a woman knight." Rashid silenced them with a wave, but his smile only widened. He offered not peace, but humiliation. If Eldoria wished Al-Raheem's protection, they must bow publicly before his throne and offer tribute, not gold, but Varkor himself. The demand was a blade wrapped in honey, impossible to accept. Alara's jaw tightened, her hand brushing the hilt of Emberblade. But Finn caught her arm. To strike now was to lose everything. Rashid's laughter rolled through the court like thunder, but behind it lay something more dangerous: interest. His gaze lingered on Elara, not as a queen to crush, but as a flame to tame. That night, the palace hosted a feast in their honor. Musicians played, dancers whirled, goblets overflowed. Yet beneath the music, Finn felt the sting of watching eyes. Servants lingered too long, guards hovered too close. They were not guests, they were prey. Whispers coiled through the banquet hall like serpents. Some courtiers spoke of taking Elara as Rashid's bride, binding Eldoria through marriage. Others urged her execution, to prove the Sultan's dominance. Finn drank sparingly, his hand never far from his dagger. It was then the truth struck like a sandstorm. Rashid had never intended alliance. He had lured them into a trap. Beyond the palace gates, his riders massed in secret, preparing to take the Eldorian lives in the sands outside the city walls. Elara rose, her voice calm but her eyes burning. She refused Rashid's mockery, swearing Eldoria would bow to no throne. The court fell silent, then erupted in laughter. Rashid himself only smiled, raising his goblet in mock salute, then let the sands decide. His voice rang. At dawn, the trap was sprung. The desert roared with hoofbeats. From the palace balconies, Rashid and his courtiers watched as columns of horsemen poured into the dunes, encircling Elara and Finn. The sky burned red with sunrise, as war drums thundered across the desert. Elara drew Emberblade, its celestial glow cutting against the rising Sunday. Finn's daggers flashed at her side. They fought like fire and shadow, her strikes strong and radiant. His swift and cunning. Their courage held the tide for moments that felt eternal. But wave after wave of riders crashed upon them. The sands turned dark beneath their boots. Exhaustion clawed at their limbs. They were being overwhelmed. And then the moment came. A dozen spears leveled at Elara's chest. Finn beaten to one knee, their strength spent. The world slowed, despair pressing heavy. And in that heartbeat, the sky itself split with a roar. Varkor. From beyond the dunes he had felt it. Elara's fear, her pulse quickening in mortal peril. Since the day she claimed him, their bond had grown into something near spiritual, a thread woven between heart and flame. He had heard her without words. The dragon tore across the heavens. Wings blotting out the Sunday fire cascaded from his jaws, sweeping through the enemy ranks. Riders scattered, banners turned to ash, the sands glowing under his wrath. His fury broke the circle, buying Elara and Finn the breath of life. The desert fell silent, but for the crackle of flame and the groans of the defeated. Survivors fled into the wastes, their cries swallowed by the wind. Elara and Finn stood side by side, scorched and weary but unbroken. Above them, Varkor circled, his molten eyes blazing not with wrath alone, but with something deeper. The bond of protector and kin. High above, from his palace, Rashid's laughter echoed through the desert wind. Elara knew this was only the beginning. Rashid had not sought to destroy them. He had tested them. And now he had seen the strength of Eldoria's fire. The sands had been stained not with weakness, but with warning. A message carried by fire across the realms. Thank you for watching. I'm just a hard-working YouTuber, trying my best to bring you interesting stories. I will greatly appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me. Thank you once again.